everyone. Welcome to another online beginner full body workout. My name is Melissa. I am Health Aware's dietitian and personal trainer. So I'm very excited to be here with you today. Grab your shoes. That's really all you'll need, maybe some water too. We are not using any equipment today. We will just be standing for our entire class. You don't even need an exercise mat today. We'll even do all of our stretching standing. You're welcome to grab a chair if you do need to take a break for a moment or use it throughout the exercises, but we don't need anything. A couple more announcements. Before we get started, I just want to remind you, if you do have any major medical conditions, make sure that you're cleared by your physician before you begin this workout plan or any workout program. If you feel any sudden chest pain during this exercise, please stop exercising and call 911 or your doctor. I want you to pay special attention to your joints as we exercise today. We don't want any pain in your joints. We're trying to target our muscles, so you may feel some sensations in those, but I don't want you to feel any pain in your joints, like your knees, wrists, spine, nothing like that. Muscle pain, I guess, for lack of a better word, muscle pain is okay. We're trying to fatigue our muscles by doing this exercise today. Feel free to leave any comments below throughout the video if you're watching live, or if you're watching recorded later, I'll be able to answer any questions you have or see any comments. I think that's all of my announcements. Let me make sure you can see everything. I feel like my phone slid a little bit. Okay, hopefully it'll stay there. Ooh. All right. I'm gonna get our music started and then we'll start exercising. Make sure you have your water nearby. It's not quite as hot here today in Ventura, but we still wanna make sure we're drinking water when we exercise. Hopefully I'll remember. Let's get going. Get our music started. All right, cat toys everywhere. So we're just gonna start out with a warm up. Let's see, where am I? Is that in the middle of the frame? Okay, there we go. So we're just gonna march, get our body warmed up a little bit. I'm marching to the beat. You don't have to march to the beat. You can march however you want. I'm a musical person, so I like marching to the beat. Ooh, stretching out. Kind of waking up still a little bit. Anybody else? All right, let's take that right arm, reach overhead, big stretch. How about the other side? Big stretch. And again, I think you can see my hand. Here we go. Other side, big stretch, opening through the ribs, the entire side of the body. We will be working some of those muscles today. Last time. All right, good. Now let's do a little bit of rotation in that torso, kind of waking up the spine, waking up the core. Start flexing those core muscles, tightening everything up. We will be doing some core moves today, even though we're standing. Let's move down to the feet now, just a little foot pedal. So kind of picking up the heels, waking up our ankle joints. I'll show you from the side. Just stretching everything out a little bit, waking up the feet, the calves, the legs. Let's go back to our march now. We're doing all of our warm-up moves one more time. March on the beat if you like. Adjust your clothing. I'm sure you all have those one-part pants when you exercise that they like ride up or down somewhere. I don't know why I keep wearing the same pair when we exercise. They tend to slide up my ankles or my calves. Let's reach up, big stretch. Other side. Are you feeling a little more awake now? Again. Big reach. Let's rotate our torso now. Once again, I have locked my cats out of the kitchen. I've tried distracting them. I've tried different tactics. Today I tried distracting them by putting an empty laundry basket and an empty box in the hall. It distracted them until I walked away. Alright, let's do those foot pedals again. And then they sit looking at me through the door, just so sad. Then they find something else like a bird to watch outside the window, and then they're distracted again. I think they're getting used to me closing them out of the kitchen. Alright, are we ready now for our workout? Let's do it. Feeling a little bit more warmed up, blood flowing. So we're going to do 5 exercises today. We're going to try to get through 5 rounds. For this first round, I'm going to go through each move a little bit more slowly, describe it in more detail so you can get the proper technique and movement behind each move. So let's get started. We've done this move before. We're doing a lunge. So we're only going to lower about halfway down with this lunge. Our starting position, I'll show you front and side. I want the feet about hip distance apart, and then you'll take a step back with either leg you choose, a big step back, but I want you to keep your feet about hip distance apart. So not one behind the other, apart. So from the side, a big step back. We want to make sure that when we lower down, the knee stays behind the toe. So when we lower down, up tall, think about keeping your hip and your shoulder, your head, all in the same plane. And then when the knee lowers down, keeping it below that area as well. So lowering down about halfway and then back up. Let me scoot back a little so you can see my full body here. So lowering down and back up. If you want to lower down lower, that's fine. Lower, that's great. Whichever way you choose, make sure the knee stays behind the toe. Now you don't have to go at the same pace that I'm going at. You can go slower if you want. You can go quicker. I just want to make sure you have the correct body technique, body positioning. Let's do one more on this side, and then we'll switch. So switch those feet. Remember, keep them hip distance apart. Big step back. Woo! If you do find yourself tipping over, your feet might be too close together or too narrow. So here we go, up tall, halfway down, and back up. Can you feel your leg muscles tighten when you lift back up? Think about this front leg, that quad muscle. Is it getting tight when you stand back up? Tight. Again, whatever speed you want to go at, and if you want to take it lower, that's fine as well. Core tight on this one. Let's do one more. Good. Next move we're doing is a little more of our arms. We haven't done this move since the very first full body workout class. We're going to do our wall push-ups. So find a blank wall somewhere. I've got a couple options. Hands are going to be right about shoulder height and about shoulder width. You can go a little wider than shoulder width. Feet away from the wall. Think straight line from your head all the way down to your feet on the floor. And lean forward, press away. Lean forward, press away. Keep the core tight. Whatever speed you want to go at. Down and up. So if this is too easy for you, the next step up would be doing it on the floor on your knees. I'm trying to save our knees today. Let's do one more. Good. Next move, we're going back to our legs. So feet are going to be about hip distance apart. Let me back up a little. There we go. About hip distance apart. And we're going to do a squat, but we're doing a pulse Knees stay behind the toes, core stays tight. Don't let your bottom press back with a back arch, okay? We want to stay tight in the core, so when we lower down, we don't let the back arch. So we're going to pulse in threes, all right? So 3, 2, 1, hold it down. Then 3, 2, 1. Keep going. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to show you from the front. 3, 2, 1. Did you hear my cat meow? And hold it down. So this is just a little different than doing a regular squat like you've been doing. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. A little bit different of a burn in those legs, isn't it? Keep the core tight. 3, 2, 1. How about one more? 3, 2, 1. Good, stand on up. Did you feel that one? You should feel it in your hamstrings, in your quads, in your glutes, and perhaps your core, tight core. These next two moves you will feel in your core. That's what we're aiming for right now. That's our target. So for our first one, adjust your pants. Similar body positioning for both of these moves, okay? But the first one, arms overhead, and we're really going to be focusing on our oblique muscles. So those are the core muscles that go up the sides. So take one side, so knee and elbow come together on one side. Then we switch, other side. Nice and slow on this one. Really careful with that spine. Pull and lift. Just a slight crunch down as your elbow and your knee come together. If you can't touch your elbow and your knee together, that's totally fine. Halfway there is good too. A lot of balance in this move as well. You should start to feel this move in the side of your body, in the side of your abdominal area. Those are your obliques. Let's do one more on each side. Good. Now our next move, similar body position to start, arms overhead, but this time we're crossing. So opposite elbow, opposite knee are coming together across, then switch, across. So now we're crunching across our abdominal area rather than on the side, across. Even more careful with the spine, whatever speed you're comfortable with on this. My starting position for my feet is about hip distance apart. You want to make sure you have a wide enough of a base so that you don't tip over. Nice and solid when you come back to center. Let's do one more on each side. Good. So we're staying slow and controlled through all of those moves. Really trying to target our core. That's all 5 of our moves for today. So we're going to go through those again 4 more rounds, hopefully. So let's start with our lunge. Remember, starting position, feet about hip distance apart, and then a big step back. Woo! Here we go. Core tight, nice and tall. Down halfway and back up. Down halfway and back up. Good. If you need to hold on to something during this type of move, during this lunge, that's totally fine. Grab a chair, hold on to the back of the chair, or your counter, or your couch, or your spouse, whatever you like if you need a little extra help with the balance. Let's do one more, and then let's switch. Other side. Big step back. Remember, keep the knee behind the toe when you lower down. Woo. Here we go. Down and up. Make sure to squeeze those legs when you come back to standing. Good. Whatever speed you want to go at. Let's do one more. Good. Moving on to our next move is our wall push-ups. If you don't like wall push-ups You can also do an elbow plank on the ground. We just want to get those arms. This move is for our arms. So wall push-up, knee push-up on the ground, or the elbow plank that we've done a lot. So shoulders, hands, same level. Feet away from the wall, core tight, straight line from the head down to the feet. You want to make sure that you're moving your entire body, not just your upper body. So none of this, none of that. Tight core, entire body is moving. We're working the back, the chest, the deltoids, those are your shoulder muscles. Whatever speed you want to go at here. Let's do one more. Perfect. Moving on now to our squat, that pulsing squat. I'll show you from the side for this round. Feet hip distance apart, core tight, lower down, and we're pulsing. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. How are you doing? Is your core still tight? How are the legs? They should be burning by now. If this is hurting your joints, don't lower down quite so far. A little higher up. If you need extra support for your back, have your hands on your thighs. Let's do one more round. 3, 2, 1. Good. Stand all the way up. Now feet about hip distance apart again. Arms overhead. We're working our core. Doing those obliques first. Take the elbow and the knee on the same side. Pull it in. Other side, pull it in. Nice and slow. Controlled on this move. Think about crunching the side of the body. Keep going. I'm going to show you from the side, just to give you a different view. Okay? Crunching. Crunching. Good. Let's do one more on each side. Perfect. Now from here, we're crunching across the body. Opposite knee and elbow. Let's do it. Cross and switch. Nice and slow. Gentle, controlled, really focusing on that abdominal area. Crunch it in. Pull the belly button back towards the spine. Standing up nice and tall. Relax your shoulders too. Don't let your shoulders shrug up too high. Pull it in. Last one. Good. You made it through round 2. How do you feel? Grab some water. Moving on to round 3. Back to our lunge. Got some cackling in my mouth. Big step back. Knee stays behind the toe, core tight. Think head, shoulder, hips, all in the same plane. Let's lower down and back up. Remember focusing on the core as well, keeping it tight. Thinking about our legs, squeezing them when we stand back up. How about 3, 2, and 1. Switch. Do you feel your quad muscles yet? I felt them on that set. All right, nice big step. Your heel is lifted on that back foot. I forgot to mention that part. Let's do it. Down, and up. Down, and up. When I was in elementary school, my elementary school PE teacher taught us that to balance, it helps if you put your finger on your nose. So every time I feel like I'm getting off balance doing an exercise, I'll do that. And it totally helps. Let's do one more. Good. Now back to our wall push-ups. Remember your options. Wall push-ups, knee push-ups on the floor for more of a challenge, or the elbow plank on the floor if you don't like push-ups. I should rephrase that. If you don't like push-ups, you should do them anyways. They're very good for you. If they hurt your elbows or your wrists or your shoulders, then you probably shouldn't be doing push-ups. We don't want to aggravate those joints. So do the plank instead, but if you don't like push-ups, do them anyways with me. Here we go. Hands at shoulder level, core tight, full body moving down and away. Push away from that wall. Squeeze the arms. Focus your attention on the back of the arm, that tricep. Think about squeezing that this move. Squeeze. Squeeze. Don't let that head droop. Gaze right in front of your body. Let's do one more. Good. Now to our pulsing squat. So get in that body position. Feet hip distance apart. Lowering down slightly. There. Trying to get in the middle of the frame. And let's pulse. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. I finally got on the beat of the music. There we go. Keep going. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Is your core still tight? Tighten it up. Let's do one more set. 3, 2, 1. Good. Stand up. Shake out those legs. Whew. Ready for the core? Hands overhead. Let me back up a little. Working the obliques. Let's do it. Pull and switch. Pull and switch. Really thinking about the side of the body. Think about pinching right there, right in those obliques. Now if this hurts your back, don't do this move. Maybe just do the arm or just the leg. But really tighten up the core, and that will help protect your back. Pull and switch. Last one. Good. Same body position. Let's do across the body now. Pull across and open. Across and open. Are you breathing? Don't forget about that. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Keep going. Nice and controlled. Slow movement on this. Cross the body. One more on each side. Made it through round 3. 2 more rounds to go. Grab water. Here we go. Get ready for those lunges. Big step back. Core tight. Body up straight. And let's do it. Down and up. However low you want. Halfway is great. Or down lower is great too. However low you lower the body, make sure that knee is staying behind the toe. 2 more. Other side. Switch those feet. Core tight, up tall. Let's do it. Down and up. How are your legs feeling? Getting a little shakier? You're welcome. 3 more. Last one. Good. Wall push-ups. Here we go. Remember the options, knees on the floor push-ups or our plank. Or join me here at the wall. Feet away from the wall. Hands at shoulder height. Lower down. Press away. Do you feel any of this in your back or below your shoulder? We are working our back muscles, our rhomboids, our lats. Core is still tight. Entire body is moving. Let's do one more. Good. Let's do our pulsing squat now. Feet hip distance apart. I'm trying to get in the middle again. There we go. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Keep going. We're doing 10 of these. In case any of you are counting, I'm trying to do 10-ish. Good. Stay low if you can in that pulse. Don't come all the way up to standing. Pulse. 2 more sets. 3, 2, 1. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Good. Now stand all the way up. Woo! Moving on to our core moves. Hands all the way up. Working the obliques. Pull and switch. Crunch. Switch. Really focus on that core here. Focusing on those core muscles. Who doesn't want stronger abdominal muscles, right? That's where I hear most people complain about when they come see me for training or in classes. Like, get rid of my tummy. We're working on those muscles right now. Keep going. One more on each side. All right. Now across the body. Pull across and to neutral. Across. Good. I should also say, we are not spot reducing here while we're doing this. We are strengthening our abdominal muscles while also burning calories, working muscles. But we're not necessarily spot reducing abdominal fat right now. Just to clarify. Any type of exercise you do can help reduce your overall body fat, which is how we get rid of the excess fat that we have in our tummy or other places. One more each side. Good. One more round to go. I should also say, I feel like you can't see my feet anymore. There we go. I should also say that nutrition is a very important part of losing abdominal fat or any type of fat. Just throwing that out there. Let's do our lunge. Last round. Give it all you've got. Nice big step back. Core tight, standing tall. And let's do it. Down and up. Squeeze those legs. Lower a little bit further down if you want to challenge yourself. Just make sure that that front knee stays behind the toe. Are you feeling this in your legs yet? Woo! One more. Good. Other side. Let's switch. Let's do it. Down and up. Squeeze those legs. Back heel stays lifted. Core tight. How are you feeling? Let's do 2 more. Last one. Good. Find your wall. Time for those wall pushes. It's our last set of these. Really dig deep. Feet away from the wall. Let's do it. Down and up. Whatever speed you want to do these at. It's more important to do them slowly and controlled than to do them quickly and not controlled. I'd rather have you do them slow and correct. Really engaging all the muscles we're focusing on. Sometimes when we do an exercise too quickly, we're not really engaging all the muscles that we wanted to. Doing a move slow is not a bad thing. How about one more for good measure? All right, bring it back. Face me. Let's do our pulsing squats. Feet hip distance apart. Lower down 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. I'm at the music again. I figured it out. This one has the right beat for this move. Pulse, pulse, and hold. Keep going. Stay low. Core tight. Keep going. 3, 2, 1. Keep going. Is your tummy pulled in? Tighten it up. Again. How about one bonus? Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's move on to the obliques. Hands up, feet hip distance apart, and pull down. Crunch and switch. Good. Nice and controlled. Really focusing on those core muscles here. Can you feel this one? I can feel this one. We don't necessarily have to be on the floor to work our abdominals. In every type of strength move we do, really, we are working our abdominal muscles. This is just more focused on them. How about one more each side? Good. Now across the body, here we go. Our last set of exercises before we stretch. Pull across and up. Pull across and up. Hang in there. Are you warm by now? It's not as hot outside today as it was last week when I was doing this class. So not quite as sweaty. Last time there was a sunbeam coming through the window behind me. It made it very warm in here. How about one more each side? Pull it in. Good. Grab some water. You made it through all the exercises. How do you feel? Take a check of all your body. Do you feel some of the muscles that we worked? I feel my obliques and I feel my quads. I also feel my back from our push-ups and from pulling down so many times with those lifts. Grab water. I'm going to give us some more relaxing music. There we go. We're going to stretch now. This is the best part of any workout, when you get to relax and stretch out the warm muscles that we just worked. So we hold these stretches for longer. When we were warming up, we weren't holding our stretches. Our muscles weren't warmed up yet. They weren't ready for long, deep stretches. Now that our muscles are all warm, our body's ready for these. So I'm gonna kind of move head down. So we're gonna start with our neck. Tilt it to one side, gently, very gently with the neck. Just a gentle stretch from your ear all the way through to your shoulder. Take some nice breaths. And then from here, gently give a slight bit of pressure to stretch a little deeper, a little more of a passive stretch for that neck. And let that one go. Let's do our other side, just a gentle stretch. One side might be a little more loose than the other, a little more flexible. I can't stretch this side as far for whatever reason. And now take a gentle bit of pressure with the hand. Breathe deeply. Big breaths in through your stomach. And release that one. Next, we're going to do a deltoid stretch, so our shoulders, which is what we were working with our push-ups. Take one arm across the body, stretching it across. Pull it tight, stretching all the way through the back of the shoulder into the front of the shoulder. Nice deep breaths here. Do you stretch? Do you take time to stretch at home by yourself? So much is forgotten with stretching. I generally don't think I stretch unless I'm working out. Let's switch other side. It's something that's very easy to forget forget, but it's so important for us to stretch, especially after we exercise. Pull across that body, stretching through the shoulder, that deltoid muscle, through the back. Good. Now we're going to kind of stretch the opposite. We're going to stretch our chest. So clasp the hands behind the back, clasp hands, and just push the arms away. Wherever you're comfortable, wherever you feel a stretch. If you need to stay lower, that's fine. If you feel a stretch there, great. If you want to lift a little higher, that's good too. You want to feel the stretch all the way across the front of the body. We were working that with our push-ups as well. A nice big stretch, opening the ribs. This is also good for posture for those of us who tend to slouch when we sit or when we're at the computer. Yes, that's probably most of us. This is very good for opening up that chest. Good. And let the arms go. Next, we're going to stretch our hamstrings. So those are the back of the legs. We were working with our squats and with our lunges as well. I'm going to show you this one on an angle. So flex the toe. Let me back up a little. Flex the toe, and we're going to bend our leg. And I want you to really sit into this stretch. Really sit down into it. If you need to rest your hands on your supporting leg, that's fine. If you need to hold on to a chair or the wall, that's totally fine too. I want you to really be able to think about the stretch all the way through the back of the leg, through the calf and through the hamstring. Flexing that toe is what really gets the calf muscles involved. Let's switch to the other side. Is your core still tight on these stretches? Hold it tight. We must protect our back as we lean forward. So again, sitting into the stretch, toe is flexed, really trying to stretch the entire back of the leg, all the way from the heel up to the glute. Nice deep stretch, breathe. Hold on to a wall or a chair if you need the extra support, or just rest the hands on the thigh. Stand all the way up from here. Now we're going to stretch our hip flexor. So that's the muscle when we're doing all of our lunges, our squats. It's the muscle right here in the front of our hips. Those tend to get really tight for those of us who sit a lot, if you have an office job or an at-home job now. So a similar position to our lunge, okay? But you can let that back heel rest on the floor. Then you can see my heel. And this time we're just going to lean forward slightly. So think about pressing the pelvis forward a little bit more. Press the pelvis forward. Try not to let that knee go too far past your toe though in front. You want to feel the stretch all the way down the front of the body. All the way down through that hip. You may find that this is much more tight than you expected. This is a great stretch. Also very good for low back pain. A tight hip flexor can also cause some low back pain for some people. I know I am one of those people. So it's really a good idea to keep stretching out the hip flexor. It can get very tight. Let's switch to our other side. Big step, heel on the floor for this one, a little more stability. Tilt the pelvis forward. Stretching out all the way through that body. These nice long stretches are so good for us. Is one side tighter than the other? This side is tighter for me. Keep breathing. I really like this song, by the way. I like this one. Stretch. It's called a walk, in case you were wondering. Alright, stand on that. Clasp the hands, a big reach overhead, stretch all the way through the core, through the back, through the shoulders. Deep breath. And let the arms float back down. We made it. You've done something great for yourself today by exercising if you're here live or if you're watching again later, recorded. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll be here again next week. Do this again. If you have time, exercise again. Make sure you're doing something every day if you can. And I look forward to seeing you next week.